Centering pass to Light. With time, Light drops it back corner. In. Oh, what a glove save by Halak! In comes Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin in. Stopped by Halak, and he'll hang on. Steps around Georges. Back in front. Oh, what a save by Halak! Green shoots. He's stopped by Halak. Another chance. Another stop by Halak. This time Ovechkin. Unbelievable goaltending by Jaroslav Halak.
Say what?
Nice job, Corey Struthers, putting that little pack together. So far, the best player in these playoffs, that's easy, Jaroslav Halak. The dude had 53 saves last night in the Canadiens' 4-1 win over Washington. 176 saves total in this crazy series. Of course, everyone has been heaping praise on the former Hamilton Bulldogs star, including Mike Camilleri, who came out and said this about Halak. He was the difference, pure and simple. That's going to be on ESPN Classic and TSN Classic tomorrow. Maybe TSN Classic, not too sure about ESPN Classic. They sometimes have other priorities. That said, how good was Halak? And Montreal, do they have a shot now to upset Washington? What's your reaction, Chris, to what you've seen?
Well, I think, first of all, they absolutely have a shot to upset Washington now, and for a couple of reasons. The number one reason being Halak. When you play with a goaltender who's playing that well in front of you, it gives the team confidence to attack, and that's what you saw was Montreal attacking Washington instead of trying to hold off Washington, and that was the difference in the way that it goes. They could run right over them, and when Washington, Alexander Ovechkin in his career has never performed well in a single big game. Olympics, World Junior Championships, last year in Game 7 in the playoffs, he tends to disappear. Not because he's a bad player, but because he tries to take too much on his shoulders. He wants to win it by himself, and it becomes easy to defend.
Does he trust his teammates enough? Because this Game 7, it's all about trust. You got to trust the guy next to you is going to do their job. Do you think he trusts the guys around him?
I think he does trust his teammates, but he's such a competitor. He's a fierce competitor. It's what makes him so good all the time. He just wants to win the game so badly that he's going to take it on himself, and it makes it very easy to defend against him.
And it's frustrating for him because of the offensive power of this team dominated the league all season. To come up against a wall like that, you see him forcing the issue a little bit. And another, to your point.
And look, by the way, sorry for a second, I'll let you get back in, but think about Alexander Semin. This guy scores about 40 goals in regular season. He's done nothing in the playoffs. The team actually has more shorthanded goals than they do power play goals, so the spread goes a long way.
Semin has had chances. Green has had chances. These guys have had chances to score and sort of expound on that offensive power. But you look at the history of Washington. They've had, 4 straight 7-game series. I mean, at home, they're only 1-2 in those series. Obviously, Montreal has a chance at this. They catch a team that, from the leadership point of view, has never been able to perform in a crunch time. And you're waiting for this offense to wake up, and Halak is sitting there doing a damn good job of keeping it sleep.
You know what, though? The offense is there. Anytime in the past 2 games, this guy stops 90 out of 92 shots. And Jaro Halak made some incredible chances. Yeah, he's made some incredible saves, right? When you can't score on the power play, and Washington had, I don't know how many power plays last night, 11, 12, 13 power play opportunities, and they didn't score once. I mean, that's a telling thing, right? And it's now all the pressure is on Washington, and it is on Ovechkin. He's a great player, but again, I think he spent too much time on the ice. I think that he is trying to do too much on his own. And these other guys do have to step up, Semin and Green, like you said.
I think Boudreau hit it on the head when he said that Halak might be in their heads a little bit. When you come up against such a debilitating force, so to speak, you sort of gets in your head and you try to be too careful, too much precision, too accurate, and you're not playing freely.
You saw that in the 5-on-3s when they had a 2-man advantage. And again, the criticism was just overpassing, that they weren't just getting the puck at the net.
And I think that's a hard thing to shake off when you're talking about a one-and-done game. A mental block, that's a pretty hard thing to shake off. But I do think this offense comes alive at some point, comes alive in the sense of starts burning.
I think the secret is that they have to keep, this team is deeper than they were last year. Washington is deeper. They did that so that they could go further in the playoffs. They knew they needed more balanced scoring. And if Boudreau can keep his head about him and keep rolling 4 lines, because look what they've done to Montreal. Montreal outscored them in the first period of, I think, the whole series. They've outscored them. And Washington has crushed them in the second and the third period. Because they're deeper, they're faster, and they're just running them down.
I guarantee you, if they put 55 shots on Halak in Game 7, he's not going to stop 53.
Well, real quick,
there's been 90 in the last 2.
Yeah, real quick, you guys. Varlamov, goalie for Washington, steady, not spectacular. He's been a little bit on both ends of the spectrum. Are you guys comfortable with him in net for Game 7? Is he enough for Washington to get to the finals, or should they have done more to upgrade that position?
Well, I think Lapierre's goal was soft last night. I thought he shouldn't score from where he did, but Varlamov, all he has to do is is let in 3 goals.
Yeah.
Because they expect Washington to score 4 and 5. And that's the bottom line with him. He's never going to steal the game for you. You just want him to make most of the saves, which he's done pretty consistently. I don't think he's been bad. He could be better.
Right, guys,
I don't think he's the
Darren,
problem.
I got to cut you off here because we got to go to break, but I'm sure your point would have been good. Anyway, sorry, Coyote fans, but I don't want to see your team advance, and I'm not going to apologize for saying the Orlando Magic are better than Cleveland and the LeBrons. It's in or out, and it's coming up next.